record this, I'll just repeat. When you are done with when you press the button, just tell me, I'll just repeat the question once more.
I've started.
Okay. So question number 1, I'm looking for a word which means something that circulates or propagates in a country. This is a portmanteau word. So basically, first used by Homer in Odyssey, meaning somebody who's back home. And then it has been used by Demosthenes. It has been used by Hippocrates in this one, in his Corpus Hippocraticum. So basically, I want this good word, which means outbreaks of disease confined to one part of the world. Moving on to question 2. This is an extract from a book. Calamities due to acts of God are fire, floods, diseases, epidemics, and famine. Other calamities could include divine origins like rats, wild animals, snakes, and evil spirit. It is the duty of the king to protect the people from all these calamities. You have to identify the book and you have to identify the author, who is considered to be one of the most revered teachers in India. Pretty easy. This is an easy one. Should not be too difficult to crack. I'll move on to the next slide after 5 seconds. So I want the name of the book in part A. I want the name of the author in part B. Okay. Question B. Can you just mute anything who's not apart from me? Yeah. Okay. So question number 3, it is argued that epidemics like cholera in India kill more army men than the war itself. So this is a poem, this is a part of a poem called Cholera Camp, and which depicts the poor condition of infantry in India. Now, this poem was published in McClure's magazine in October 1896, and this is written by a very renowned English author whom we know for some other reason, for some other work of his, he's famous. So, I'll just read out the poem and I want you to identify the poet. So the part of the poem that, I have not kept the entire poem here, only the part that I thought is more relevant. So basically it says, there ain't no fun in women, nor there ain't no bite to drink. It's too much to wait for shooting. We can only march and think. And at evenings down the nullas, we can hear the jackals say, get up, you rotten beggars, you've 10 more today. Twould make a monkey cuff to see our way of doing things, lieutenants taking companies and captains taking wings. And lances acting surgeons, 8 file to obey, for we've lots of quick promotion on 10 deaths a day. So basically 10 people dying per day, people moving up higher in ranks. That was the situation of the infantry. You can see the picture that I have given here. You have to name the poet of this particular poem. The name of the poem is Cholera Camp. Fair enough. Moving on. Another easy question. This is a book I have given here. I have marked the name of the book. I have marked the author. So basically, part A is give me the name of the author. Part B is give me the location. So basically, name the location that faced outbreak of the fictional bubonic plague as per this book. The author seems to be born there. So basically, I want the location. That's it. You can give me the city. If you can give me the city, very good. But even if you can't give me the city, if you can give me, roughly the country, that's enough. Okay. Question 5. In 1918, when an eminent Indian public figure was hit by the Spanish flu, there's this magazine called Prajabandhu, which wrote that X's life does not belong to him, it belongs to India, in order to pressurize all the doctors to provide care and support. So who was this eminent personality who recuperated from the flu, but he lost his daughter-in-law and grandson due to the epidemic? Just give me the name of that person. Question 6. I'll read out the plot of a movie.
Any hint on the previous question?
1918 is a hint. Okay. Spanish flu is a hint. And the magazine is a hint. Also, daughter-in-law, grandson lost is also another hint. And yeah, I mean, the greatest hint is the quote. Life does not belong to him, it belongs to India.
Hello.
Okay. Question 6.
Ma'am, is that photo a hint?
Photo is not a hint. I mean, in the sense, it's not a direct hint. It's a photo of the Spanish flu. So, but I mean, if I give the photo of the person, it would be too easy. Okay. I'll show you the photo when I discuss the answer.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Shania, I think 2 more people are waiting, so you can let them. No, I think that's a chat. Yeah, can we ask for please do. Okay. Question 6. Let me see. I'm going to read out the plot. Dr. Ashok Gupta, residing at a town called Chandipur, detects contamination of the holy water or Charnamrit at a local temple, and he starts alerting the public about it. His brother, who is the mayor of the town, views this as a threat to the temple revenue and castigates and ostracizes him. So he is termed as the Ganushotru. Okay, and just after a few days, jaundice creates havoc in the city. A, name the famous Indian director of, who has directed this movie. And B is, give me the 1882 play which this movie was inspired by. The picture is the biggest hint. Okay. Chat. Okay, yeah. Okay, move on. Okay. Question 7. The concept of transfer by virus by an inanimate object when touched and retouched was first observed by Italian scholar. His name was Girolamo Fracastoro in his medical treatise, which was published in 1546. Now, a 2011 American thriller film directed by Steven Soderbergh showed that an inanimate object called fomite, when exposed to infectious agents such as bacteria, fungi, or virus, can pick up the virus and when touched again, can transfer disease to a new host. So you have to name the movie which became popular in lockdown because it had many parallels to the present situation. So though I'm showing you the picture of Girolamo Fracastoro here, I'm actually asking you for the name of the 2011 American thriller film, which uses this concept of fomite. Question 8. Nicholas Mackin's mother, Eileen, you can see Eileen's picture here. She owned a property along the Park Street across Vale Road in Bristol. Sorry, I've written road twice. Okay, Vale Road in Bristol, which was for its sale. Each house in that street is worth £300,000. Now, on 11 December, people started climbing over the house while Macon family slept, which was a security threat. They were supposed to sell the house, but instead of realizing cash from sale, the family actually spent money to put perspex over the wall to protect it and also installed a security alarm. What was the event that perplexed the family? Perplexed the family to put perspex. So here I'm looking for the event. You can describe the event. You can just give me the keywords. If you know what happened, what exactly happened. Why did people start climbing up the house while they slept? Why was it a security threat? That's what I'm looking for. Fair enough. Moving on. Okay, again, an etymological question. So an 1883 story in Janesville Gazette about action of a policeman led to the coinage of the term. I'm looking for a term here. The term was used again by US activist Ralph Nader in 1970, and the football referees act as the agents to detect any issues in the game, justifying the coinage. Now you see the picture of a man who's become very famous in 2020. His name is Dr. Lee Wanling. So I want the term which is attributed to Dr. Lee Wanling of a central hospital who succumbed to the virus in February 2020. So I just want the term, that's it. Okay. Question 10. Tangled of 2010 was an animation movie made by Walt Disney Pictures based on Grimm's brothers' popular fairy tale called Rapunzel. In this movie, Princess Rapunzel was kept away from her biological parents in a tower by Mother Grothel for 18 years. Now, this movie became popular post-corona outbreak on two counts. A, what was the name of Rapunzel's kingdom? And B, what was the 18-year detention compared to? It was very hilarious to see people finding out all kinds of parallels to the pandemic once it struck. And this was one of the things that, was widely discussed in Twitter. So very uncanny resemblance, what was the name of Rapunzel's kingdom? That was, one of the really uncanny things that people found out in this period. Okay, question 11. This was also quite popular during the last year, So in the 37th edition of Asterix, titled Asterix and the Chariot Race, Asterix and his friend Obelix participate in a chariot race across Italy, organized by Caesar. They compete against a masked Roman villain with reputation of stopping at nothing. So this was published in 2017, and this adventure gained popularity again in 2019 due to the outbreak of the Wuhan cases. So A, what was the name of the Roman general? And B, who was his associate?
So the Roman general is the masked villain, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Question 12. A series like this was, circulated as public awareness message. So this is a very famous dialogue from Sholay. So that has been modified. So here it says, जब बच्चा बाहर से आता है, तो माँ कहती है, हाथ धो लो वरना कोरोना वायरस आ जाएगा. So my question is, which entity or organization was a propagator of this message? You saw this in many places. Now, who actually created this message? And there was a series like this, like there were 2-3 messages coming on like this. I think Shania used one in her promotion also, right? So I just want the name of the entity who used this message, who created this public awareness message. Okay.
Any hint?
Okay. The hint here is, think about an entity which is like one of the biggest or biggest organizations in India, So I'm not, when I say entity, I'm not looking at the, particular ad agency who's created this ad, but I'm looking at the, that kind of, what do I say? That kind of public organization which has distributed this kind of ad all over the places and in newspapers, etc. Okay. So one of the biggest organizations that we have in the public space. Okay, I move on. Question 13. So in northern France, there is this custom of hanging garments in a tree called the healing tree. And this is a tradition that persists since the pre-Roman times, They have this in Ireland, they have in several other countries in Europe. These are called rag trees in Ireland. And, what happened is, like, if you are sick, say you have an ailment in the leg. So what they would do is they would hang up trousers there. So if you have an ailment of the heart, they'll hang something like vests there, So now question is, there has been a recent change in 2020, which was noticed by the locals at the healing tree at Hasnan, which is in, southeast of Lille, which is in France. Now, question is, instead of, hanging trousers or, vests or scarves, what is it that locals found people were hanging in the year 2020? Think about the pandemic that we have. Think about one of the mostly used things in 2020. And what would you, in a healing tree, if you're hanging something, you want to get rid of a certain disease. So what would you hang in if you want to get rid of the kind of virus that was propagating or is still propagating? Okay.
Just to be clear, we just have to mention what was hung, right?
Right.
Okay.
What was hung? One word answer. Okay. 14. So, last year we saw a lot of drive-ins. So there was a drive-in for fast food, there was drive-in liquor stores, there was drive-in coronavirus test. Toronto's Lighthouse Immersive Acts invited viewers to experience art of a very famous post-impressionist artist from safety of their cars. Okay, so it was something like you can drive in through this exhibition, and this was directed by Italian filmmaker Massimiliano Siccardi. You can see his picture here. Today, again, this exhibition is going to reopen. Now, my question is, think about, a drive-in kind of exhibition. Now, think about the way that you are going in there. So what was this drive-in initiative called? Named on the artist whose work was displayed. And part B is you have to name the artist. So whose exhibition was it is what I want in part B. In part A, I want what was this drive-in initiative called? There was a similar initiative organized in the non-corona times where people could walk in and see the exhibition. Now this time, because we were not encouraging, large gatherings and all. So that kind of exhibition has been done in a drive-in kind of situation. So you can take your car and you can go there and you can be inside the car while you see the exhibition. There was a
So the
certain
drive-in initiative name includes the name of the artist?
exactly, yes. The initiative includes the name of the artist. Okay. 15. Observing the plight of stranded migrant workers due to the first phase of lockdown in India, the government provided emergency trains called Shramik Specials to transport them to their natives. Now, as per a report by Business Standard in December 2020, this actually showed that these trains, which had no screening for borders, no social distancing, actually transported the virus through infected migrants to distant villages. So I want what was the epithet used by Business Standard for the Shramik special trains? They called them certain trains. So I want that epithet. Okay. What did Business Standard call these trains? Okay. 16. This is a connect question. So you can see three pictures here. The first picture is that of a building. Second picture is that of a person. One of the really underrated scientists of India, if I may say so. And the third picture is that of the medicine or drug that I am actually wanting as an answer. So you can see I have blanked out that particular part. So I want you to connect these three pictures to that particular drug which is blanked out in the tablet packet. I'll stay on this for some time more because this is a connect question. You need to see the pictures nicely. So if you know the building, if you know the person, working out is very easy. Fair enough? Moving on. Okay, this question 16 was a star question, so like this is one of the questions that will determine the tiebreaker. Now, next question, question 17. This is also a star. So, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, incubated a startup which has published its study reporting heat-tolerant coronavirus vaccine candidates. So basically, as we know, the Moderna, the Pfizer, these vaccines all require storage at minus something degrees centigrade. So basically, they require cold storage. But IISc is working on developing a heat-tolerant coronavirus vaccine. Now, according to the co-founders of this startup, Dr. Raghavan Bharadarajan and Gautam Nadik, you can see them there. This vaccine can be stored at 37 degrees centigrade for over a month without losing its ability to fight the virus. Okay, so we don't need a cold chain in order to preserve this vaccine. Now, I want the name of the startup whose vaccine is already in the preclinical stage. So I don't want the name of the vaccine. I just need the startup which was, initiated or incubated at IISc Bangalore, which is working on this vaccine. Okay. Question 18. Now, inventor robotics is something that has become quite popular, quite famous in the last few years. So creation of this Bangalore-based company, Inventor Robotics, proved very useful in the pandemic. Tablet attached to this particular entity's chest allowed patients to see and interact with their loved ones who were socially distanced, as well as medical staff unable to access the wards. Now, in a earlier instance, this particular entity, humanoid robot, he befriended Ivanka Trump. And I want the name of this friendly robot. Fairly easy question. You can, I mean, if you hear our PM airing monologues, this particular name comes up very often in what he airs. So I want the name of the robot. I mean, he usually starts his monologues by saying this particular term or a variant of this particular term. So I want the name of the robot, not his term. Okay. 19. Now, the antibodies against the infection build up in a human being only after a specific number of days pass after the second dose of the vaccine is taken. This is a 2-dose vaccine. The minister in question has taken only 1 dose of the vaccine. The ministry had said it is treatment. So I want you to identify this Haryana minister who volunteered for Bharat Biotech Covaxin on December 5th and got affected by corona subsequently. And this incident has been termed by Twitterati as coronation. So basically they said coronation of Haryana minister. So I want you to name this particular minister who has become very famous because he was one of the first ministers who took the Bharat Biotech Covaxin. Okay. Now, last but not the least is a tribute question. I'll end the quiz with the tribute question. So Herman Cain, as you see here, he was an American businessman who succumbed due to COVID. And he opposed Bill Clinton's healthcare reforms, Barack Obama's economic policies. He had a talk show. So basically he used to air his conservative views through this talk show. And he also appeared in Fox News, and he has been a spokesperson of a very important movement of the times. So I want you to identify the movement that Cain supported. It's a 3-letter acronym. Okay, and what does this acronym stand for? I mean, I'm not very particular if you can give me the full form, but I want this movement. I want the name of the movement. And the hint here is this acronym will remind you of an incident during the 18th century that actually led to formation of United States of America. Make sense? Okay. I'll do a quick round of the questions, and I'll not read them line by line, but I'll just do a summary, and then I'll just close up the forms after say 30 seconds or so, post I finish the review of the questions. Okay. Feel free to stop me if you want to stop more at some question compared to the others. Okay. Question number 1. Etymology. I want the term which means circulating in a or propagating in a particular country. Question 2. Excerpt from a book. I want you to identify the book. A, B, identify the author. Question 3. I've given extract from a poem called Cholera Camp, and I want you to identify the poet. Question number 4. I want the author of this book, part A. Part B, I want the location where the outbreak of the plague happened. Question number 5, public figure who was hit by Spanish flu. He survived. His family, in the sense his daughter-in-law and grandson did not. Very famous person, so eminent Indian public figure. Question 6, plot of a movie is given. You have to identify the director. B, you have to identify the play from which the movie was inspired. Question 7, fomite is something that was, introduced. The concept of fomite was introduced by Girolamo Fracasoro. And 2011, some film used the concept of fomite, and It was a thriller. So basically you have to name this movie which became popular in the lockdown. Question number 8. Why was Island's property, in news on 11 December 2020? Instead of selling it, they actually ended up spending more money to protect the property. Why was it? What happened that led to this circumstance? Question number 9 is another etymology question. So you have to give me the term. The term originates because of the action of a policeman, and then it was used by US activist Ralph Nader. The term also comes because football referees are seen in this act. Okay, and this term became famous because of Dr. Lee Wanling, who unfortunately succumbed due to the virus in February. Question number 10, Disney movie. Part A is name of Rapunzel's kingdom. Part B is what was the 18-year detention compared to. Question number 11 is what was the name of the Roman general in Asterix and chariot race? And question number part B is what was his associate's name? Question number 12, you have to identify the entity or the organization which is in public space. So basically public organization, I'm not talking about a private one. So you have to identify this entity or organization which circulated this kind of public awareness message. Question number 13, what was hung in this healing tree in the, southeast of France? What was unique about that? What was the unique thing that was hung? One word answer. Question number 14, drive-in initiative, appreciating art. The name has the artist as well. However, there's a part A where you have to name the drive-in initiative. Part B is where you have to name the artist. Question number 15, what were the Shramik special trains called by Business Standard in December 2020? Because they spread the disease to remote areas of India. Question number 16 is a connect. So basically you have to connect these three, and I want the name of the drug, or I want the name of the medicine or the drug. So that's what I'm looking out for. Question number 17, IISc Bangalore Incubator Startup. So basically I need the name of the startup. They are famous because they are developing a, the heat tolerant coronavirus vaccine. Question number 18, name the humanoid robot by Inventor Robotics, which had become very famous during the pandemic. Question number 19, name the Haryana minister who volunteered for Bharat Biotech Covaxin on December 5th.
Just a question here. Will just the surname do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And got affected by corona. Okay. Now question 20, Herman Cain, identify the movement that Cain supported. That's all I want. So basically, if you can give me the full, you can give me the acronym, I'm fine with that. If you can give me the full name, brilliant. I mean, nothing like that. And the acronym will remind you of an incident during 18th century. So something that led to the formation of United States of America. Okay. Okay, I'll stop share and I will give you 30 seconds and then I will stop the forms. And your time starts now. Meanwhile, Shania, you want to talk a bit about, the initiatives that you do, etc. Feel free.
Sure. Do you want me to stop recording as well?
You can actually, because I'll be discussing the question answers. You can start recording after that also.
Sure, okay.
This one. Just give me a minute. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes,
Yep.
it's visible.
Can you see?
Yes.
Okay.
It's visible.
Okay. Okay. Question number 1. What's the term?
Epidemic.
Endemic.
Epidemic. Correct. So the epidemic. Yeah. Question 2. What's the book?
Tirukural.
Arthashastra. Arthashastra.
Correct. Who's the author?
Kautilya or Chanakya.
Correct. Okay. Question 3. Who's the poet?
Rudyard
Rudyard
Kipling.
Kipling.
Rudyard
Rudyard
Kipling.
Kipling.
Rudyard Kipling.
Correct. So Rudyard Kipling. Yes. Question 4. Who's the author?
This is Albert Camus.
Albert Camus.
Albert Camus, Algeria.
Algeria. Okay. Yeah. So someone has written Oran. Fantastic. Algeria. I'll take it. French Algeria. Okay. Question 5. Who's this public figure?
This is
Mahatma
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi is the correct answer.
When in doubt, say Gandhi.
Okay. Question 6. Director?
Satyajit Ray.
Satyajit Ray. 1882 play?
Enemy of the people.
Enemy
Enemy
of
of
the
the people.
Enemy of the people. Very good. Okay. Question
Excuse
7.
me.
Contagion.
Sorry.
Contagion.
Contagion. Correct.
About the sixth question, does Ganashotru work for the name of the play?
No. I wanted the 1882 play. Ganashotru is the name of the movie, no?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay. So I said 1882 play, which the movie is inspired by. So it's inspired by Ibsen's Enemy of the People. Okay. Now, 7. What's the answer? Contagion. This was
Contagion.
discussed. Okay. Question 8. What happened? Why did the family
The mural
actually spend?
on the side of our house.
There's a Banksy graffiti.
It's called the
Fantastic.
Achu.
It's called Achu. Correct. So overnight, the property price has gone up because of this.
Will only Banksy graffiti fetch points?
Will
Yeah. Yeah.
mural Achu.
If
What
you've
is the
written Banksy, I'll give you marks. Don't worry.
I just wrote Achu and mural.
That's okay. Okay. This one, what's the term?
Whistleblower.
Whistleblower.
Whistleblower is the term. Correct. This one, A.
This is Corona and quarantine.
Quarantine, all of those.
Quarantine. A is Corona, B is quarantine. Okay. Next, this one.
How are the part
Roman
points
general,
for this question?
part points?
This is coronavirus
Yes.
and bacillus.
Bacillus.
Bacillus. Bacillus is the associate.
Associate,
Yes.
yeah.
Who is the entity?
This is Indian Railways.
Indian government.
Indian Railways. Correct. Indian Railways. What was the item that was hung?
Masks.
Masks.
Face mask.
Masks. Correct. Okay. What's the name of the drive-in initiative?
Van Gogh.
No. What was the? That's the name of the artist, no? So what was the name of the
Yeah.
initiative?
Immersive Van Gogh.
No. Immersive Arts is the name of that entire, that Toronto Lighthouse Immersive Arts. So basically, the name of this particular thing was Gog by Car. So
Good
Go
one.
by car, Gog by car. And the name of the painter obviously is Van Gogh.
Or a drive and go.
Okay. This one, what did Business Standard call the Shramik trains?
This is the
Corona
Corona
Express.
Express.
Corona Express.
No, virus trains.
Super spread.
No, it called virus trains,
Okay.
Okay. Then what was the connection?
Hydroxychloroquine.
It's fantastic. Yes.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Okay. What's the name of the startup?
This is Minvax.
Minvax.
Minvax. Minvax is the right answer. Correct. Robot?
Mitra.
Mitra. Okay. Name of the minister?
Anil
Anil
Vij.
Vij.
Anil
Vij.
Vij. Correct. What was the movement?
Tea Party movement.
Tea Party movement.
Boston Tea
Correct.
Party.
Correct. So Tea Party movement. Okay. So that's the end of my quiz. We'll calculate the scores, and don't leave the WhatsApp group. We'll announce in the WhatsApp group. The top 5 will play tomorrow. And tomorrow, I think there's also pluribus. So maybe, instead of 11, I can start a little earlier also, 10:30, if that's fine with all of you. Okay.
Is there another quiz you're doing? I just heard Pluribus.
Pluribus is the Bombay Quiz Club annual. So